Hey, what's up? This is Lucky Johnson, and this is my story.
This episode is sponsored by Carré Restaurant and Bar, one of the dopest restaurants in the French Quarter located in New Orleans. I promise you, the egg rolls are smoking, the lamb chops are amazing. You will love it. 239 Decatur Street, New Orleans, Louisiana, zip code 70130. All right. So for the people who don't know, tell them, where you from?
So I'm from uptown New Orleans, Third Ward, 6 and Baronne to be exact. That's off of Washington Avenue, off of Claiborne, around the Magnolia, the Melf, and the Callio. For those of y'all don't know who's out and about in the rest of the world, welcome to the Third Wall.
Gotcha. So being from, 6 and Baronne, in the 90s.
Oh, man.
Around, UNLV.
Indeed. Yeah.
And so, how was it like for you the first time you saw somebody, from your hood?
Yeah, for sure.
Actually, able to get some
traction.
Notoriety.
Yeah, man, shout out to UNLV, man. My brothers are Tech, Yella, rest in peace, Yella. I would travel from, I got to shout out to Mr. Servon, too. He was living right around the corner from us. I got a shout out to Juvenile. He was right up the road there. Him and Magnolia Shorty, him and Magnolia Slim, rest in peace to both of them. They're 6-7 blocks up the road there. You go west towards Valence and Magnolia, maybe 8-9 more blocks, you run into Baby and Slim, and they was over at the barber shop over there on Valence and Magnolia and things of that nature. So, to see them doing what they was doing, even Master P, coming from uptown Third Ward, seeing what they was doing was really exhilarating and fun and exciting. Shout out to Big Heavy. He was one of the promoters and managers for Cash Money back in the day, had a green Suburban. So to see them boys come out of my hood, man, I was like, wow. I can always remember UNLV had an album cover and they had the big Adidas, the big old tongue black and white Adidas, right on the corner of 6 and Baronne, across from Miss Jackson and them. And later on in life, Partners in Crime would come and they'll piss on the set. So they had a song, Pissing on the Set with the fully automatic tech, up the nigga slipping. That's I got my respect. Shout out to Partners in Crime. They would piss on the same set where they had the photo shoot. And that was historic in my view because I saw both interactions happen and that was really phenomenal.
Right. And I actually interviewed both and Partners in Crime say, hey, but when they went on, but when they actually went on 6 and Baronne, people was like, yeah, man, what you want to do with it? I'm like, wow. So the people in the hood giving you permission to piss on the set.
Yeah, it was. They didn't understand the significance of the beef because the beef it got real serious. And for me, the catapult for me was I would travel from 6 and Baronne, and I would go to Sarah T. Reed in the East. So even though I was from uptown, I was traveling to the East to go to school. So shout out to Big Person, Master P Daddy, used to give me this fake driver's license. It was a goddamn, a driving permit because I was 16. So I would have this paper that I could drive. So I would go from uptown, I would shoot, I would grab him from out the Callio. We'd stop right there on Broad and Broad and Washington, and then we'll go up to, it's a Cajuns there now, I believe. Is that Washington? Yeah, Broad and Washington. It's a Cajuns there. It was something else back in the day. But anyway, we shoot up Broad to Sarah T. Reed. And when they situation happened, I had to be so neutral because I would go around the corner to Newton's. Bobby Marchand had a gong show. So I would go around the corner by Newton's and be a part of the gong show, being into in the rap world, into the vibe back then. But then growing up with Kango Slim, we come out the 17th Ward together. Growing up with Mr. Mina, being in high school together, all of them were my friends. So I'm like, damn, I can't take no sides, cause I got love on both spectrums. You know what I mean?
You just gave a lot of New Orleans history. A lot of people don't know what gong shows is, so they would have been like, oh, Bobby Marchand, who that is? Man. But actually, me doing interviews, I actually learned about Bobby Marchand through Bust Down and Partners in Crime.
Yeah, Bobby Marchand, he wasn't from here, but he worked at the radio station. So this was the guy you had to go to get some type of notoriety or get a footing in the radio station with the program director and the music director. So he really, really helped a lot of artists back then. Shout out to Cash Money Record. They buried him when he died because he had no family here. So that's how we was able to break on the scene, you know what I mean? So I was on the scene for a while, and then I kind of just went off into the streets a little bit and still did the music, but they took it way more serious with the recording and the studio, and I'm always excited to see all those facets of back then because that's part of my life, part of my history, part of me growing up. So yeah, man.
Gotcha. So growing up, did you ever think to yourself that you would actually become one famous actor?
No, not at all. I always had a bug for entertainment, for putting on in front of a group of people, if you will. I've always had a niche or a knack to want to be seen, but in a positive way, if you will. Because what I learned early on was if you perform for people and you can make them laugh or you can make them dance or sing along with the music, that was kind of like a plus for you, especially growing up in our neighborhoods because we moved in so many different neighborhoods. My mom, single mom, wonderful woman, but we lived in Niggertown, 17th Ward. We lived in goddamn Holly Grove, 3rd Ward. You name it. We was. My mom was the type. Once we was there for a while, if she felt like either you're gonna get acclimated in the fabric of the hood, which we didn't really have gangs, but we had they represented the hood. Mom was like, no, y'all not doing that, and then we'll move. We'll move. And so I consider myself a New Orleanian, but what it also allowed me to do was understand the different cultures and it'll think you was in different cities or states, but you was literally going from uptown to maybe downtown or across the canal, which was two different worlds. Downtown across the canal, they driving horses and four-wheelers and fixing goddamn race cars. And uptown, they deep into the music, into the fashion, into the culture of second line and festivals. They was heavy. And then even though it was just a few miles, you would think it's a whole different world. And it really wasn't. But that allowed me to understand different cultures coming out. Then I go drop off in the Desire Project. Then I run across the bridge to the Florida Project. But I was just different. I was learning different cultures and different ways how people was moving and thinking, which allowed me to be true New Orleanian, if you will,
Gotcha. So, with that, but last time, we kind of did one brief interview, but you didn't tell me that, but your cousin was Tyler Perry.
Yeah.
So, because, a lot of people saw you in other movies with, Denzel and other people, but, no one ever saw you actually work with your cousin until you did, until you did the documentary.
Yeah, for sure. So, and it's ironic you say that because, so I've always been one to stand on my own. So I've been building this Lucky Johnson brand, and I noticed Tyler was doing a Tyler Perry brand. So what I was noticing in the shadows and in the quiet was he was building the name. So even though the content was fire and funny and off the chain, the name branding was synonymous with the content. So if you think about ketchup, you might like ketchup, but then you might like Heinz ketchup. So even though the ketchup is the content, the brand is the name, the Heinz. So I paid attention to a lot of that. And so him doing plays, his advice to me, his mentorship was, you do the plays, but don't call them gospel plays. Don't just use Q93. Go to FM 98. Go to B97. Go to 104.5 was out at the time. Go to all these different stations. Promote your play, right? But look at my colors. Look at my lights and my comedy and my transitions. And look how the play don't last too long. Maybe 2 hours. 45, 50 minutes first act, intermission, second act is over. When people are leaving, they're leaving with great memorabilia in their mind. Oh, that weed smoking, pistol toting grandma, she tore that Bible up, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. But they knew what she meant from that concept. So I paid attention to that. What happened later on in life was, and he would even say, man, I did a movie called Block Party. Shout out to Cain and Abel, formerly from No Limit Records. I did a movie called The Block Party. Great movie, man. Funny, hood classic.
I like it.
Indeed. And
I loved it.
I talked to Tyler, like, man, I just did this movie. He was like, listen, you got to get some acting classes. Holler at me. And boom, boom, boom. At first, I was a little taken back because I'm like, damn, I don't know about no acting class. I'm in New Orleans. Where am I going to take acting classes at? But then, true to life, my partner, Tenwall Buck, he was like, look, come to Delgado. They got a program. They got acting. I'm like, yeah. All right, cool. So, and this is after Hurricane Katrina, because we shot the movie in 2004. 2005, Hurricane Katrina came. Well, 2008, I come to Delgado to sign up for the acting it's a PFMA. I got my degree in theater and film. So to bring you up to speed to Tyler in modern day, for Maxine's Baby, the documentary, I don't think he knew I was paying attention as much. And then when we started working on the documentary, they was working on it like damn near 10 years. I only worked on it 4. And the reason being because COVID came, then we went on hiatus for 2 years because of COVID. We had already started filming. Then we doubled back coming, because 2 years, maybe that 4th year, we reconsumed back with the documentary. But I remember so much stuff growing up. He's my first cousin. His mom and my mom are sisters. Rest in peace, Maxine. His mom died. She was fighting cancer, and she fought it, a good fight. Wonderful woman. But he realized later on, like, damn, you was really paying attention. So he would run into Denzel Washington and Mark Wahlberg and Halle Berry and even The Rock, and they'll say, man, I shot a movie with your cousin. And he would say, who, which, who? And they'll say, Lucky Johnson. And he said, yeah, that's my cousin. So even when I talk back to them, they'll say, yeah, your cousin, but he didn't know you was doing a movie with us. I didn't understand the point or the need to necessarily say to them, oh, by the way, my cousin is Tyler Perry. I just was auditioning, learning my set, getting the jobs on my own merit, and standing up as a man on my own 2 feet. So it wasn't that I was ashamed of him. Hell, he's a billionaire. So I was never ashamed of who he was and what he became. But what I wanted them to know was who I was. Who was Lucky Johnson? And they appreciated it even more, because these guys are still my friends today. But they appreciated the fact that I didn't try and use a name to get in. Right. I used my talent, my personality, and my wit, my God-given ability to connect. And that's what I use. So, yeah, man, shout out to Tyler Perry, man. I'm working at the studio now in Atlanta. I'm on All the Queen's Men, season 4. So y'all make sure y'all check
that's a good
show. Yeah.
But it's a wild show, but it's a good show.
It's a wild show, yeah. It's a wild show. It's a good show. I come in, I bring a new flavor, and the audience is going to really enjoy my character.
You actually going to be in the show?
Yeah, I'm in there. I'm in 10 episodes.
You in there?
I'm in there. And my name is Smoke in the show, and where there's a fire, there's smoke. And boy, I'm coming. I'm bringing it.
You coming?
Yeah. It's real refreshing, and they really appreciate what I've brought to the table, what I brought to the character. It was time for a new twist, because they're 3 years in. So now I'm coming in on the 4th year. They even greenlit for season 5. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in season 5, which we're going to start shooting in a few months. But season 4 comes out in July.
Well, I'm here to give you your flowers, because earlier we was talking about how people don't kind of take but the opportunities that they have in New Orleans for like acting and different things like that. And like you made it a long way from Block Party to working with Mark Wahlberg and Denzel Washington without using your cousin Tyler Perry name. Right. Like, cause 9 out of 10 people down here would have been like, man, Tyler Perry my cousin. They would have did that.
Absolutely.
So like, going to his studio and like having your studio in New Orleans, like when you first made it to that studio, it was like, man. Like, I was here with like the motivation of what you saw.
Let me tell you this. It's magical. Pulling up on the campus is like Disneyland. It's like a college campus. Just beautiful. The landscape, the water fountains, the sky is even different in my view. Because when I go through the grounds, I got all access to everything, right? So I'm in all the sound stages. I go over and say hey to Steve Harvey. He might be shooting Family Feud. I might go stop and say hello to Nick Cannon. He might be shooting Wildin' Out. I might stop and say hello to Eddie Murphy and Will Smith. They might have been shooting Bad Boys at the time. Wesley Snipes was there, So everybody's coming. Everybody's patronizing. And you're seeing people that you grew up idolizing and admiring in the industry, and you're like, wow, man, look at so and so, look at Blade, and but to be there and to see the people moving about, I'm just in awe, because I just really feel the magic, and when I'm there, I go wherever I want, however I want, and I'm not flexing any power or nothing. It's just me going and say, look what this black man done. You know, my cousin, that's great, but look what this black man has done for himself. Come from New Orleans, from nothing, uptown. He from off of Baron Street. People be thinking he from the Ninth Ward, because in the play he say, Ninth Ward, I'll bust a cap of you CTC. He not from the Ninth Ward. He from uptown. And he Agape Hornet, Cohen, you know, and the Woodson, you know, by A.L. Davis Park. These are the schools we went to. So for me to be there and to see this, the transition and to understand where he came from to there is phenomenal. And I'm his family. I was raised under him. He's older than me. So the people that know him now, they know him as Tyler, the businessman, the conglomerate, the writer, producer, filmmaker. I know him as a guy who just didn't have nothing. Right. Who, even before he was even homeless, he worked at telemarketing, he worked at the fast food, and he rubbed the nickels together to try and survive, you know, so to speak. Because he was always a brilliant thinking person, in my opinion. So he was always one to try and create these ideologies to even escape his reality at the time of going through an abusive dad or, you know, rejection from certain things. He would always find an escape, write a journal, if you will, create fake characters. Then one would wonder, well, how he keep creating all this stuff? Because he have to escape out of his own mind, because you're either going to be schizophrenia because you got so many people living in your head, or you're going to put it on the paper, film it, and then monetize it. And that's what he did, and that's the genius of it. He didn't go and say, put me in a mental hospital. He said, let me write these some bitches out of my head and then create a look for them, fat person, skinny person, red, white, black, whatever, and then give it to the world. And that's what he did, man. So me being there, I work there now. I'm at the campus, and I'm just really blown away with everything I see. It's hundreds of people moving about.
Right.
You know, hundreds of people, and everybody's working, and everybody's making a good living. But let me tell you this, brother. He shoots so fast and so sufficient that I picked that up now. So his motto, what he's done, Hollywood been around for hundreds of years, whatever. It took Tyler maybe 25 to master what they haven't even mastered yet. So he'll take $5 million and make 50. You know what I mean? And then we'll take, let me tell you this. I shot the whole season in 1 month and made more money in 1 month than I'd have made in maybe 3 movies put together. Yeah. Not all of them. I can't say that because they paid me pretty good. But I've shot in 1 month with Tyler Perry at Tyler Perry Studios on All the Queen Men. I want to be clear. And he paid for the whole year. He don't pay you weekly, bi-weekly, his contract. And then when the producer called me, they say, he doing something different for you, you know.
Because I was about to ask, like, do you think he paid you different because you his cousin?
Yeah, well, of course. And I said, and I appreciate that. You know, I'm talented, but I'm sure it was because of the family reason too.
Right.
And the producer was like, well, this is a little different because he don't know him to do this, but you know, he did your contract. And he paying you, and I was like, I'll take it. Where do I e-sign, you know? But he paid for the whole year, man.
And like I always tell people, but the genius of Tyler Perry, he actually promoted Tyler Perry always and not Madea. Because if people would have just treated him as Madea for all that time, he would have never been able to do them other movies as Tyler Perry.
Correct.
But like the Alex Crosses and all that. Correct. So like the genius was him always branding Tyler Perry until he got Tyler Perry Studio. And but that's motivation for me. That like makes me use my full name and like brand your last name, but not your first.
That's right. Absolutely.
Gotcha. So for I won't hold you too long. So tell the people, I'm like, what's next for you?
So of course we got All the Queens Men coming out, season 4. I'm gonna be shooting a movie for Partners in Crime called Partners in Crime. Good movie, great movie. It's gonna be action.
It's gonna show everything.
Just basically, it's a biopic. It's gonna be some fiction.
Oh.
And so the idea is
it would kind of like BM.
Yeah,
kind of like BM.
Exactly. So Kango and Misdemeanor. Misdemeanor is he into the streets. Kango into the music. they're good friends. He's trying to tell him, man, look, like the music go take us out.
Look, UNLV Important Crime already told me about the episode, so you gotta put it in there.
Oh yeah.
You gotta put in Misdemeanor fighting Yellow Boy.
Yeah, guys,
you gotta have it. You gotta put that in there.
And rest in peace to Yellow Boy.
You're right.
Mom, she just died.
Yeah, I just saw the post there, man.
Mom just passed.
Rest in peace, sir.
Yeah, they had a real fight.
Yeah,
they had a real fight. And Misdemeanor, hey, listen, let me tell you, he always had a set of hands. He was real fast, real quick. Pop, 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 pop. And I went to school with him. We was in a band together. This is my partner. And even when I seen his interview with that story, I was like, wow, I remember that like it was yesterday. And they got it in good. It was beautiful. Because I'm a boxer. I've been fighting all my life. No bully here, no start, no fight, but I love to see a good fight. So if you're going to have some exchanges, we looking at the exchanges like, ooh, that boy threw that left here, ducked that right. Oh, I like that hook. And it'd be beautiful to us. As long as nobody don't get hurt or killed. But I love a good fight. But that's it. Don't go no further than that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I've always had guys rob me who seemed like they wanted to beef. I'll lock the door and say, if y'all serious, y'all go ahead and get it in now. And then, nobody will get hurt. But you have to get it off your chest if you that serious about it. Right. Let's get busy. You know what I mean? But shout out to UNLV. I'm gonna be working with them as well. Shout out to my boy Fiend.
You need to shoot them a movie too. I
gotta have it.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
I'm gonna do
just
it.
You having this studio. I'm like, man. I think you have you are in the right position to tell these people's stories to the world and and like streaming platforms like Tubi and Amazon offering these things, so it can really help.
Get their story.
It really help a lot of these people who've been trying to tell their story to the world from New Orleans. Because I was just talking to my wife, I'm like, man, I used to think a lot of these artists here were actually bigger than what they were because Q93 and Fat Fat and all that promoted like that, in the box and all that. So when I interviewed Miss T, I told her I thought you was just as big as Mary J. Cause I was really outside. I'm seeing that the Super Centers, if they play a Mary J song, they play a Miss T song. Right. But you wouldn't know.
For sure.
But I'm like, we got to get back to that.
Yeah, and see, it's ironic you say that because what I think I could contribute and help is this. Same with the Ghetto Twins. I'm gonna shoot their movie. Here's the point I'm making. I'm even shoot Tintwell Buck's movie, his story. This is the point I'm making about saying all that. When you shoot the movie. And you create, some of it's going to be fiction, a lot of it's going to be fiction, some of it have a few little things in it from their story, but you're able to recreate and reintroduce the music to another generation. So when you think about Ray Charles, you think about, Elvis got a movie out now, you think about Biggie, you think about NWA, Straight Outta Compton, you think about James Brown movie, those movies were so good, but they also introduced the music to another generation of people. Because you got to realize that when that music come out, even though you have maybe say Juvenile, Juvenile is a big household name to a lot of us, but there's a new generation of kids who don't know him. Right. So I need to make sure that they know him, know his legacy, know his story, and put it out to the masses. So I think that's what I'm going to champion and make historically, even with Soulja Slim's movie. Right. Now I was wanting to shoot his movie right after his untimely demise when he died. But his mom was like, she just wasn't, because that's her son. Right. So she wasn't really feeling all that.
She might not want to watch it yet either.
Yeah, they wasn't, she was like, not right now, Luck. And I respect it. But I was just in my mind, I'm like, listen, these people belong to the world. They love him. All these artists I just said, they belong to the world because they done made such a major impact and contribution to society, to people who was depressed or sad or who had ambition. Listening to these guys' music changed that trajectory, made them get a better grip on life, knowing what they went through. So especially Soulja Slim movie, it'll be top tier as well. All of them gonna be top tier because that was our Tupac.
And actually to chime in what you're doing, that's the reason why I started writing articles on these older people because people don't really act the new generation don't know them. I just did an interview if the guy was maybe 24, he ain't no Ghetto Twins, UNLV. When I mentioned UNLV, he thought I was talking about the school. So, and he's from here, born and raised. It's we not even promoting that to the younger generation at the block parties or the clubs. We don't really actually play the older music for the get a history. I just did an article on T.T. Tucker and DJ Jimmy, people thought that DJ Jimmy made it first.
Right.
So that's why I say people don't really know the
And
history.
that's not accurate, right?
Right.
It was so close because
Right.
I come in that exact era. Jimmy is my cousin. His mom is my Aunt Deborah. Tucker and Irv, rest in peace, Irv, he died. But they were so close. But Tucker was the first one to put the record out, the red tape. He put the tape out. He recorded it, he put it out. Then Jimmy came right behind him. But Tucker go down in history for exactly that, the originator and creator of it, because he the one who recorded it first. Jimmy was recording it, he was DJing, but he didn't put it on wax.
Right.
So whoever put it on wax first wins. You know, that's just how it goes. Not to take anything from Jimmy, but Tucker gets credit
Tucker
for
the originator.
that, you know.
I just interviewed Tucker, man.
Yeah,
It was
I saw
good.
it.
It's dope.
It was
Like,
good.
you know, and a lot of people, like, that's what I say, like, a lot of people be looking for these people, don't know where they've been.
Yeah.
So, like, even if you drop in a movie, it's still, like, it still bring lights.
Yeah.
I'm like, to
And
the
I
situation.
appreciate you and your platform for doing that, because when I be seeing your interviews, you're not going just with the new people.
Right.
You're going with the pioneers as well.
But
with
I
the
actually
legends.
created it for the older people.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes the older people be kind of standing me up and acting Hollywood. I'm like, I'm trying to give y'all a light because these people don't. Because, like, I don't think they realize that this new generation don't know you.
They don't.
They don't know you at all. Like,
And the podcast wave and the interview wave and the social media wave, that's the way to stay connected with the young people.
and it might help you get shows.
Yes.
And it might help you stay relevant.
Yes.
That's like, I'm a Lil Elk.
Yeah.
His song
Get
came
the
out, he
gat.
never had a music video. Like,
right.
one social media influencer
Yeah,
made him pop for a full
That's
year
right.
and got it back.
popping.
Had LSU doing everybody,
yeah.
like,
and they thought it was new.
right.
It was so old to us. Lil Elk, Get the Gat, very old to us, new to them.
I didn't even know what Lil Elk looked like until that wave came out. But I interviewed him.
Anymore. He wasn't on the scene anymore.
Right.
Like MC Spud and
I interviewed him.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm
these
catching
guys, man. These guys, but I feel, you know.
I'm waiting on him.
LOG,
Yeah.
I can go on and on and on name dropping because I come from that era.
Right.
And I was in the fabric of that because I was doing the music as well. I had a song called the Street Fighter song, and we had Street Fighter dancers. Rest in peace, Weeby. He danced for me.
Facts.
Pervert, which is Wendell Monroe. So many of them. And we had we had a whole little thing where we dressed up in red, white, and blue American flag colors. But we was after Jubilee and his dancers. So our competition was them.
Right.
So when we go see them, I forgot my partner that died, man. That's who I always wanted to challenge him. And but he died later on in life. Him and Willie Puckett. I don't know why I can't think his name, but God bless him. But when we go to the club, we going to battle them. Because they was the top tier. So in order to try and knock them off the pedestal, we got to challenge them. So we in that thing, you know, what's up, you know?
Getting it on.
Let's get it in. And it was good, clean fun, man. And I really, for me as Lucky Johnson, I made a transition into film and TV, which kept me relevant in the household. So I didn't stay in the music mind frame with my record label and with my music. I saw the trajectory going in a different path. So being forward thinking, I took that path. And I still do music, but I went in that direction as well, like Tyler Perry did, because he went in that direction. I followed suit.
Yeah. So, before we leave out here today, like, for the people who've been watching, you know, your journey and everything, I want you to tell them something about you that you never, like, you know, told anybody or showed them.
Right. Well, I tell you this, man. I'll never talk about this. I'll talk about it a little bit today because I think people need to know this, right? So, right about 15, I got heavy into the streets. I'm hustling, you know, I'm selling dope. I'm getting caught up, back and forth in jail. And I don't talk about it often because I want people to recognize and know me for who I am in corporate America as a businessman, as a father figure, you know, and just a stand-up guy. Not that I wasn't then, because I was, but the devil would trick you to believe the glamour and the glitz and all the money and the cars and the women. The devil will make you think that that's how it's supposed to be. So back and forth, in and out of jail. I ended up doing 3 years in the penitentiary for a crime I didn't commit. So I've been home 24 years now. But however, I try and enlighten people, young and old alike, to don't be tricked by the devil and the wiles of the world. Get away from that negative intonation that this is the only way you could do it, by toting a pistol, by carjacking, burglarizing, selling drugs, using drugs. You don't have to do none of that. I never used any drugs, but I was just pumping hard, and I don't never ever really talk about it in interviews because I don't want people to see me in that. And it's okay, but I don't want to glorify that. So I don't want young people to be like, oh man, Lucky did it. He was hustling. He was out there in them streets. And I could do that too. No, you can't, because you're gonna end up in the penitentiary or dead. And because I got caught, I got on probation for selling dope, and then I said, you know what, that's it for me. I ain't selling no more drugs. I'm not good at it. I rolled for about 5 or 6 years, and I bought every car imaginable. And then your family know, because I tell people our grandfather died. Now I can always remember we had the funeral, and Tyler was like, man, I got to get back to Atlanta. I pull out a knot of money. I'm like, take what you need. He pulled a few $100s off. But your family knew in their mind, Lucky in the streets. See, so when my cousin started going and going and going, as an adult and as a changed man, he probably thought, damn, I wonder if my cousin's still in the street. Because we still talked at the family reunion. We still kicked it. But, your people lie. If you got a crackhead cousin or a drug dealing cousin or whatever, they might say they stopped, but they didn't. You see? Right. So he probably felt as though, damn, I think cuz still in them streets. But I wasn't. So as time progressed, and him talking to my mom, him talking to his mom when she was alive, and different family members, my aunt, they would say, no, Lucky doing this, Lucky doing that, Lucky not in the world no more. And I think that's what held him back from me for so long. And I'm okay with that. So that's what I would want the world to know, man. Shift trajectories. Don't make a 360 in life, make a 180, because that's where you change and go in a different direction. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your people. Support one another. A lot of support is free, especially with Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and Twitter. You can just post for a person. It don't cost you nothing, I got a bag of potato chips coming out, smoked barbecue potato chips. I got Clover Construction. I got a Clover Trucking Company with 18-wheelers. I got the studio here, Lucky Johnson Studio, out here in New Orleans East. And I'm in Dallas now with my good friends Q and Coda. I'm in Atlanta with Ashante Films with Moses. So I've expanded my horizon beyond what my imagination could fathom. And that's what Tyler did. So that's what I want people to know about me, man. I'm resilient. I'm focused. I'm loyal to people. And I just never gave up. I never gave up. I come home, my feet hit the ground, and I've been running ever since. So for my people that's out in the penitentiary, when y'all come home, just change the trajectory of your life. Change your mindset. Don't be so selfish and so not realizing that what you do affect your family. So if you come out here and you go back to the penitentiary or you get yourself killed, you're a very selfish individual, and you're not thinking about your loved ones and your family, because they the ones suffer. They the ones got to send you money. They the ones got to buy you out. They the ones got to write you letters and all this foolishness that's unnecessary. When you could take that same energy at home and apply it to a business mindset or a skill set or anything to better you and make you a more valuable citizen in society, opposed to some knucklehead. So, hopefully that allow you to take my story from what I've been through, from the streets. I got street credibility, I got penitentiary credibility, I got business credibility, and I graduated from college. So I got 4 educational standpoints that move me ahead of the class. I'm no better than nobody, but if you ain't been to college, or if you ain't been to penitentiary, or if you ain't been in the street, or you ain't been in corporate America, I kind of got a little edge on you. So let me take my knowledge and my information and give it to you, so you don't have to go through that. So that way you can take what I'm putting down, hopefully you picking it up, So love is love, man, and, I leave them the way I came. Wa alaikum salam.
Gotcha. And also, last but not least, tell the world, what can they find you at on social media and on everywhere else?
Yeah, man, for sure. First of all, I want to appreciate you, brother. I appreciate this platform. Shout out to Nolazine doing big things. Y'all can find me at Lucky Johnson. I'm on Instagram at Lucky_Johnson. I'm on Facebook, Yahoo, Twitter. Also, if you want to book me through I Said What I Said Network, DM. The I Said What I Said Network is on Instagram as well, or email, or pull up at the studio. We're at 7196 Florida Court. All is welcome. We rent out the stages. We got the jail in here, the living room, the bedroom, the hospital, the kitchen. We got a interrogation room, podcast room, stages. You could come here. You could film your content. All my filmmakers, my content creators, producers, writers. Y'all come check out the space. Cause here in the city, you can't afford to go to Second Line Stages or in Chalmette to their stage over there by next to that Home Depot. Used to be a Lowe's. You can't go. You can't. They don't allow it. You got to have top dollar. So come and see what we've done. Come and see what we've built. Take a field trip. Come shoot your material if you need be. We're very, very, very affordable. And yeah, man, y'all make sure y'all follow us and keep supporting us. And we appreciate y'all and we love y'all, man.
All right, we done. And that's your story.
That's my story.
Hey, but are you sticking to it?
I'm Lucky Johnson. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.